Welcome to Cricket 8. I'm Jarrod Kimbrough, and we have Daniel Norcross and Rob Barron here to look back at the two games from Soppy Sunday. Well, it's not soppy, I suppose. It wasn't wet, but it wasn't Super Sunday. It was a Sunday. I got that bit right.
It was a lacklustre Sunday, wasn't it? It was quite a rare occasion in this IPL. We've seen some fantastic finishes. Very recently, we've seen some fantastic and bewildering and crazy and, were we going to get super over type finishes? Today, we saw some poor cricket. We saw some poor chasing. We also saw some massive differences between good, confident sides and sides that clearly aren't.
Well, let's start with that, because I'm interested in... we'll get to Rob in a minute. Actually, no, I'll start with this. You said KKR absolutely, positively could never win this IPL. Have you revised that position at all?
I mean, I have to concede there's a chance that they might win it. However, I'm still convinced that you can't go a whole season plus knockout plus final with nobody ever catching anything. And that's kind of how on earth were they 60 for none again today?
Is Sunil Narine the greatest batter of all time?
Well,
or
what he's doing is if the prerequisite was you had to bat with a blindfold on, he would be the best of all time, because he doesn't look at his first 15 balls. He's looking in the sky or on the floor, and somehow he stays in. And it doesn't matter if he deliberately hits one straight to cover clangs it onto the floor, and then you look up and he's 81 off 38, which he was today, and I'll never understand it. It's one of life's great mysteries, but that said, they are a wonderful watch as long as the captain doesn't bat.
Yeah,
they've basically qualified now, really.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the fixtures are going.
Big chance of a second chance as well.
Yeah, a very big chance of that. So at worst, they're going to have to get through 3 knockout games to win it. At best, they could have to get through 2 knockout games. But their problem is going to be that Salt is not going to be there, and Narine cannot keep doing this because the laws of cricket... Actually, I mean, it's not written in the laws.
The moral laws.
But there's 2 pages that are blank in which you project into that what you understand to be the truths of cricket. And one of those laws, which is Law 1,427.3, paragraph 19, says Sunil Narine cannot keep on scoring so many runs that he's in danger of winning the orange cap, which he currently is, because I think he's the 3rd highest run scorer. And this is a guy who... he played a shot today, if you remember, that was just so amazing. People talk about bats not being in the same postcode. It wasn't even in the same continent as the ball. He was playing an imaginary ball. He had no idea what the hell was going on. And yet, he's an enigma, and he'll smash it everywhere. But there will come a point when there's no Salt, and Narine gets out, and then KKR do something daft, like let Shreyas Iyer bat for 15 overs, and suddenly all of what KKR are built on, which is a fearless determination to just keep on going because they can, will be massively endangered.
So I mean, I think you look at it, Rob. They obviously slightly overpaid with Mitchell Starc. I don't know if you know how much he was paid.
It was something like £1.2 million.
Million?
Okay. Million pounds.
Million?
So they did that. They often get their batting order wrong.
That's very true, because of the captain.
Phil Salt is going home, but not playing in the finals is the best way of putting it. And Narine's batting is, we all think, due a regression, although, hey, let's see how long we can ride this wild donkey.
We say it every time, and then
and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So that's my point. So, but you put all those things together, that's 4 pretty big points coming up. I would say they are winning games at the moment on the back of their opening batters, and then Narine Chakravarti in the middle. Yeah. And Chakravarti's form is a little bit more 50-50 than Narine's is. It feels like a lot still has to go right for them. But if they get that second chance, then, and they win one of the first 2 finals, that means they're a 50-50 shot in the final, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on who they play. Remember the finals at Chennai, and that changes things. But even if it's a horrible spinny dog, that doesn't bother KKR too much, because they've got 9 people that can hammer 6s, and they've got Narine and Chak. So they're probably the best team of all the others, other than Chennai, set up to play on a dog.
So you're saying there's a chance?
They will not win the IPL. I have pinned my colours to that mast a long time ago, and they must stay firmly pinned, because, what am I?
What's the point?
What's the point in life if you go back?
I love how in gambling you are constantly reassessing and you're willing to go into double reds.
But
in a hot take, you were like, I'm just going to keep going on the hot take.
And even if they win it, I'm going to tell you that they can't win it. The funniest thing today, and one of our callers, email us potentially,
First time caller.
brought to our attention, Sunil Narine has the most sixes of anyone in the IPL. They've played 11 bloody games. How has Sunil Narine got more sixes than Russell, Klassen, Travis Head? Abhishek seems to hit a six every time I look at him swing his bat. He's hit more sixes than any of them. Sunil Narine, what universe are we living in, please?
This, I don't know, his universe?
I mean,
Is he the multi-universe boss?
he's like Chris Gale, only far, far better because he can bowl 4 overs for 23.
You say that, but no one was hitting Chris Gale either. If Chris Gale had bowled more.
Chris Gale was such a good bowler, but I could talk about that for an hour.
Let's go on to
I'm not
LSG. Let's go on to LSG. The story really is that net run rate has carved a hole out of their chest in this game.
Yeah, what's it done for them, Rob? Because that feels like that was a massive net run rate disaster.
Today was a horror story for Lucknow's qualification chances, because all of a sudden, with Chennai winning well and them losing badly, they've gone minus on the net run rate, so they're now minus 0.37. And Chennai are all the way up there at plus 0.7, which is a massive difference. They are hugely under it here. They've got to play Sunrisers, Delhi and Mumbai, and they've probably got to win the lot now.
But I think that's okay, isn't it? Sunrisers is obviously, it almost is a knockout final for 4th and 5th spot.
That's a massive game, that game.
But after that, they've got the 2 easy games. So if they can get past them, it's quite interesting. Whereas if you look at Sunrisers, they've got 3 easy games as well.
Except that what we're also seeing...
Not 3 easy games, 2 easy games in the knockout one.
Is that when teams are out, effectively out, they suddenly start playing really interesting cricket.
Well, Delhi knocked themselves out early and then accidentally had a good team, and now they're spanner in the works team, aren't they?
Yeah.
You don't want to come against Fraggle McGurkin, do you?
They actually still can qualify. I mean, their next game, every next game they play is obviously vital.
Yeah. But their next one's Rajasthan.
Yeah, and Rajasthan are exactly the sort of side that you can see losing to Delhi at this stage. They've only lost 2 games. They've lost them very narrowly, but you don't go an IPL season being as dominant as Rajasthan have. So I can see them losing to Delhi. It's in Delhi, isn't it, at the Feroz Shah Kotla, I think.
I think you're right. I would have to check it. But
so, look, I mean, Delhi can win that game, and that then gets things quite interesting in that bunchy middle, and it also does all horrible things for Lucknow. I've got to say that my takeout of today is that I've watched all this IPL, and the team that I don't have any real memory of, I don't have any real idea of their identity or thought about what they are, they mean nothing to me, is Lucknow. And after today, I am none the wiser.
it's like the person you work with for years, and then someone says their name, and you go, "Sorry, I don't know them." They're like, they were 2 cubicles over.
That's right. That's. I mean, I've got in my head, I've got an identity for all the other 9 teams, but Lucknow remain elusive. They remain a little bit like all of Jacques Callis's career in my head. That, you know, when on my deathbed, every single part of your life is supposed to flash before your eyes, with the exception of Jacques Callis.
And Lucknow in the season.
And Lucknow Super Giants.
That makes sense.
That's fair.
Just having a look at the last game for Kolkata, which is quite interesting. They played Rajasthan in the last game, which is a final before the finals. It won't matter.
It could be.
They could be the 2 top teams, so it may not matter at all. But it's a really interesting one. Other game, Chennai still look like they're batting in last year and haven't worked out that it is this year. They were kind of all over the place, but they got enough runs, and the odds were massively in Punjab's favour, but we did not believe that at all over here at Cricket 8.
No, we didn't, and that was something we did call quite well today, was when they were short to chase that, you're like, well, hang on, they are Punjab, and they've got the clownery in their locker at all times, and they come out batting in clown shoes sometimes, and when Deshpande rolled through Bairstow, all of a sudden it's Riley Rosso comes out and gets 0 or 3, and you're like,
two in the over, wasn't it?
All of a sudden you're like, they're going to muck this up. Santner could not be hit when he started. His first 2 power plays went for 4, I think. They've got a very out of form Jitesh. Shashank didn't play very well for his 27 today. Sam Curran has a role where he didn't quite know what to do and played rubbish for 7 off 11, and then all of a sudden you're relying on people to chase Chennai, and let's remember that Chennai have done that without most of their bowling attack. Patharana didn't play, Theekshana didn't play, Chahar didn't play either, and that's your definite swing at the start. So they're relying on basically their B team, and they defended 167 on Dharamsala.
And Moeen Ali didn't bowl.
And Moeen didn't bowl.
But what a weird pitch it was. I mean, it was a really strange. It was hard, really, to assess what was going on there. Are there any more games in Dharamshala? Because if so,
yeah, Punjab have switched that. That is now Punjab's. Henceforth, that will be Punjab's home ground. That.
Keep your eye on the 3. Keep your eye on the 3.
So Chennai, Rob, they have Gujarat, Rajasthan, and RCB as their last 3 games.
Yeah, I think Chennai are really well placed to qualify. I think.
Yeah, but they should be. I suspect they should be well placed to qualify. They've made it a lot harder than they needed to.
I think a lot of that is Patharana injury.
Yeah,
because if you throw the ball to him, he usually bowls 3 of the last 7 or 8 overs, and that's a huge weapon to have. He's really, really good at closing out a game. He's like a closer in baseball. You throw the ball to this guy and say, just finish this off for us. He's very, very good at it. He might be the best other than Bumrah. It's always other than Bumrah when you're talking about bowlers in the whole thing. And he's not been fit. Maybe they're playing it perfect and keeping him on ice until they really need him. Today is a perfect day for Chennai because he's rested again. They've climbed up the table and got a huge net run rate boost because Lucknow got smashed. Yeah, I think if Chennai's pitch deteriorates, they're very well set. But the one team they won't want to play on a dog is KKR.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. And Punjab, Dan, they had the good week last week, and now this has happened, and they've lost that. They're 4-7.
It saddens me. They just sadden me, Punjab, because they are like a very entertaining nephew. I just enjoy them trying. I enjoy the imagination that they have. They mess it up more often than they don't, but they always come with the thrill of the possible.
The thrill of the possible.
What they are is they're like one of the. Let's say you've got a group of mates and you go to the pub regularly, and then you have that one guy that turns up every now and again, can never be relied upon to come. Probably doesn't get the round in when he does come, but whenever he comes, stuff happens. It's always fun. The charisma's there, personality. You have a great time in their company at all times, but you cannot rely upon them for anything. And when they show up, it's great. And this IPL, they will be remembered because they chased 260.
Yeah.
And they chased it when they were 10-1 at half-time to chase it, and they chased it with utter ease. At no point in that chase did they think that they weren't going to chase it, even when they did a really stupid run out, just because they're Punjab, because they're like, well, hang on, we'll give you a bit of a chance. We'll just run out our setback now. They smoked that chase of 260, and if it was 280, they'd have chased it. And then the next day they turn up and they're hopeless. And please don't stop doing this, Punjab. I love you, Shikhar Dhawan, but go and play for someone else. We don't need anchors in this team. We want the clowns. We want the nonsense. Unfortunately for Punjabis, they have a few players that aren't in any form. Jitesh has had a stinker of a season, and he was someone that they were banking on after the last couple of years. They've discovered Shashank, and they've given us Smashatosh, and thank you very much for that. Yep. They will be remembered, whereas Lucknow, I've already forgotten them.
That's what I mean. Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? Who now?
Who now is a great way to finish this podcast. You've been listening to Cricket 8. We'll be back again next week for another podcast, but also a live watch along, which you can find at cricket8.com. You can also find on our YouTube channel as well. Give us a like on Facebook. Big thanks to Rob Barron and Daniel Norcross for joining me, Jarrod Kimber, today. And we'll be back soon with more Cricket Intelligence.